All right. And now all of us are going to go 3, 2, 1.
Okay. So to start off with, please tell us your name, your year of graduation, and the degree you earned from the University of Michigan.
Charles William Kammann, graduated in 1973. Degree at that time was, we earned a Bachelor of Science degree and a certificate in physical therapy through the U of M Medical School. At that time, the program was part of the medical school. So there are the stories that go on with what the heck happened after that. But we could go for hours probably
Absolutely.
talking about what had happened here. So
Right. Okay. And so why did you choose to attend the University of Michigan?
academics, best university in the state of Michigan. So I think it visited, that's the primary reason. Visited Oakland University in central Michigan and everything, but U of M had the most appeal to me. So.
Okay. Was University of Michigan the only one that offered the physical therapy certificate, or did the other schools as well?
Well, Wayne State had a PT program at that time, but that was it in Michigan.
Wow. Very different from how it is nowadays.
Very different. We, let's see here, in our class, and graduated in 73, was just before the profession grew leaps and bounds, okay? Because at that time, most PT was practiced in hospitals or in outpatient hospital departments, and that was about it. There were very few private practice groups that were around at that time. So we got in just before the big boom in physical therapy happened.
Sounds like it. So what was your favorite memory during your time in school and in the program?
Oh, I think let's see here. In our junior year, we had class in human development, and that was taught by Dick Darnell. And he had just come on faculty at U of M, and he spent most of his time at the Institute for the Study of Mental Retardation and Related Disorders, which was in a building on 5th Street in Ann Arbor. And I was lucky enough to do a preclinical internship with him at that time. So,
wow.
So he's probably the person in the curriculum that had the biggest impact on me.
It's great.
Great guy, just tremendous here. I think he probably had that same impact on lots of students when they were graduating here. So
throughout our course of interviews, his name has definitely been brought up a few times.
It has. Okay. Yes. Yep.
So what kind of physical therapy were you interested in originally, and then what did you end up working in?
Pediatrics. I started in. I was at Mount Carmel Mercy Hospital over on the west side of Detroit. Lots of these places don't exist anymore here. It's just the way healthcare has gone here. So, and at that time, so I worked primarily with cerebral palsy kids at the hospital, and it was in a little house that used to be where the nuns lived. Okay, and it got switched into the Children's Rehabilitation Center. So I worked there. That was about 8 years or so here. Anne-Marie and I we took the NDT course in Pittsburgh, and that was about 1976, I would say, something along that. So that was an experience. I lived in a women's dorm at that time because we were married, and so we lived there for 8 weeks, and we took a trip one weekend, I remember, and somebody took down my sign of men on the that I had claimed as a restroom in there and shower and everything here. So I remember having to put the sign back up again when I got back here,
That's funny. I went to an all-girls private school, and my male teachers always said that it was so hard finding restrooms for just them because it was always female bathrooms all over the place. So I'm sure they can relate as well.
Yeah, that was at Duquesne University in Pittsburgh. So
wow. So how did your time in the U of M PT school help you determine your area of specialization?
No, with pediatrics, I think it started out really in junior year here, and laid the foundation for what I wanted to do, and just the beginnings of how to practice pediatric physical therapy.
Absolutely. So what was your favorite class?
Probably that human development class with Dick Darnell in junior year.
And
It was funny was that technology was just beginning to develop because he was he could not make our first class. So what he had videotaped it, and so all of us students hiked our way over to Fifth Street that first time to watch his lecture, recorded lecture, which back in 1972 or 71, that was pretty cutting edge at that time.
it's very different compared to nowadays with everything moving to online with COVID. Almost all of our lectures our first year were all recorded.
Yep.
It's very different.
It is, yep.
And then, so you touched on him a little bit, but who was your favorite professor, or who had the greatest impact on your education?
That was Dick, He had Virginia Wilson, who was the director of the program at that time, and she was one of these larger-than-life people here that we all grew to fear and respect in a way here. So, then there were, the faculty members at that time. Carol Holtzman was there, and Alice Johnson, and Sue McQueen was there at that time. Lois Well, actually, she was the one that had PhD at that time in the curriculum here. Dick did have it here, but he, just when he arrived that was 71, 72.
Wow. And then I know you touched on it a little bit, but where has graduating from the University of Michigan's physical therapy program taken you in life? So tell us a little bit more about your career.
Here. So I started in pediatrics for about 8 years or so. Then I wanted to get into a leadership position. So I was appointed director of rehab services at Detroit Receiving Hospital and the University Health Center. I was there about 18 months or so, and then the opening for the director at Children's Hospital of Michigan came up. So that's where I wanted to go. I was interested in pediatrics, so I was there for about 8 years or so. And then an opportunity for become the chief operating officer of a new rehab hospital down in Alexandria, Louisiana. And so that was pretty exciting. And that was after I graduated from, got a master's in public health at U of M and in healthcare administration there. So down there about 18 months, and it just Anne Marie and our sons were still here, and I just didn't feel comfortable. Okay, and great experience doing a startup on a rehab hospital, but decided to come home. So I did. So I worked in a outpatient PT practice for about a year. That did not appeal to me here. So I ended up doing home care at Visiting Nurse Association of Southeast Michigan, and being the rehab director there, and that was fun, challenging, difficult, different type of physical therapy services, and then I finished up at with Home Rehab Services of Michigan. They had a contract with Beaumont Home Care, and I just practiced as a physical therapist for about 8 years or so before I retired.
Wow. Sounds like you explored all facets that the career has to offer.
Here. Oh, yes. Yep.
That's great to hear. So our final question is, we know that you met Anne Marie during your time in the program. What was it like? What was it like being in a relationship?
I take you back even farther than that. Here, we went to the same high school together.
Okay.
And I didn't particularly care for her at all here. But things as they go. Let's see here. I think we started dating in. I think it was like sophomore year. I think something like that, right there. And then we both got accepted into the PT program, and then we got engaged in our senior year, December 8th, 1972. Well, at that time, that was Anne-Marie can go at length as far as what went on here, but we had to reveal that with Miss Wilson at that time here. So Anne-Marie can fill you in on all that. So we had to keep our distance here, and we were under the microscope at that time, because I don't think there were too many engaged couples that were in PT at that time. It's more common now than what it was. Absolutely. But so that's how it happened.
Wow. So what was it like being in a relationship in that time? You couldn't be lab partners or anything like that?
Right, pretty much, no. That was off limits there.
Wow.
We just had to behave ourselves. So.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Well, that is the end of our questions. Do you have anything else you would like to add?
Well, just the way the profession has just exploded over the years is pretty remarkable. We graduated with a bachelor's degree in PT, and now it's a PhD program or a doctor of physical therapy program. So it has, it's gratifying to see that the profession has continued to grow and really become even much more important service in healthcare than it ever was when we were first starting out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we appreciate your time today and answering these questions for us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.